there's been a lot since my last demo for the AI. There has been a lot of changes to the AI suite. There's a lot more functionality. There's a lot more features. There's just a lot of stuff. I just counted, actually, there's 23 features in the AI suite. It all does different things. The one that I want to demo today is we've seen how we can create a profile in the past, where you can create a profile, you can specify the deployment, whatever information you want for the AI, and then you'll be able to chat with that model. Now we kind of wanted a way to make it easier. We just want like a playground, a play where we can just create a chat instance, and I want to configure it whichever way I want, and then I want to chat with that AI model. And so I've created these features right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. The one that starts or ends with chat interactions here. So new features, those. So this chat interaction allow you to create basically a playground where you can chat with AI. So the way how you do that is that you go to the artificial intelligence tab, and then you'll see a chat interactions. And if you click on it here, you can add an interaction. And this prompts you to see whichever provider you want to use. So in my case, I just want to use the Azure OpenAI, and I can start here. And as you can see, I have Playground ready to go. Here you can really, you can give the AI instructions. What do you want the AI to do for you? You can change the parameters. You can create a title for your AI instance. For example, what is Azure? Right, and then you can chat with the model. You can change the deployment right here. So if you can add more deployment, we've seen it previously, and then you can connect to a specific deployment. So if you want to change the model, if you want to use a specific model, you can change whatever you want. With AI, with Azure AI, because it supports data sources, we also have data sources. So you can actually add data source to where the data needs to come from, like for like RAG. And then you'll be able to connect it, and then it'll ask question about the data that you attached only. Also, you can attach tools. So if you have tools here, like if you want to create content, clone contents, you can say, I want to be able to manage contents, and then you can tell it, hey, create a blog for me, and it will create a blog for you about a specific topic. So those are all the tools you can select from. Well, these tools belong to another feature. It's called the Orchard Agent. So if you have that feature enabled, then you're able to select these tools. If not, you won't see this. And then there was another feature. It's called Interaction Documents. When you enable that, it'll add this tab right here. This is actually a pretty cool tab. You can attach documents. So you can attach any document you want, and you can chat against those documents. So if you have, a bunch of files that you want to run analytics on or ask a bunch of questions on, you can just drag and drop them here, and then ask AI questions about it. So for example, I actually, for the demo, I downloaded a file that I have no idea what's the content of it, but I asked AI about it, and so I know what to ask it now. So here I just attached this file, and now I can just chat and ask it questions about that file. For example, here I'm copying questions that I already have against, which will give me information from that file. So you can see those responses are coming from my document that I just attached. So it kind of allows you to be able to do this, which is just attach a bunch of documents and then ask questions about them. And as you can see, all the parameters are optional, so you can change the parameters. I actually haven't tested the tools here, but we can try the tools here and see if we encounter any problems. Or create. And I honestly don't know if it's going to work or not because I haven't tested it. But since these tools are available, it should be able to. No, it's not aware of my tools yet. But yeah, that's the idea, is that you'll be able to select tools, and then and these tools you'll be able to apply, create functionality or like an AI agent. But yeah, that's it. You can name your interaction, and then you can go back to them. You can create another interaction. You can create an interaction from here. You can just create an empty chat, or you can say chat with the preset existing settings. So you'll basically have a brand new chat with the same settings, and you can just create a new chat, or you can just clear your history and start over again. And that's it. And you can do the same thing from here. You can empty chat, or you can delete it, whatever. You can search for them. This is the same UI. We obviously have an Orchard. And that feature, this is the feature, the interaction documents. That's the one that allow you to upload documents. There's another feature here to allow you to support OpenXML files like docx and XML, and this one supports PDFs. By default, it supports basic extensions like text and CVS and things like that. But yeah, I just thought I would, just kind of give an update. I haven't done any demos lately on AI, even though there's a lot of new functionality. That's it.
Sorry. So the tools, they are MCP tools?
Yes.
And how do you register them?
There is there is all that inside the module, which is the agent module right here. So you can check it out, but you'll see here, this is how you register a new tool. So this one lists all time zones. So that's how you register it.
What is this all time zone? It's a type, it's a class?
Yeah, it's a class. Yep.
Can you show it?
Yeah.
It's your custom thing.
No, it uses the Microsoft AI extension.
It's a function. Okay. So yeah. I would suggest to use the MCP C# SDK then.
Who said I wasn't?
You are?
Yeah, the extensions.
Are you?
Yeah.
No, so that's okay. That's why. Okay, I will repeat. So I would suggest to use the MCP C# SDK then, which is not the Microsoft Extensions AI.
MCP
C# SDK.
I don't know which one. Are you referring to the? I think that's.
So
which one?
I will give you a link.
MCP
C# SDK. I'm googling it, and I click on the first link, and that's it.
This one right here, yeah.
Yep. So that's
I am SDK. Using it, but this one uses also the Microsoft extensions.
So if you are using it, you will not need to inherit from AI function. That's why I'm saying and also in your namespaces, you will be using the model context protocol namespace and not the Microsoft extension AI namespace. That's why I think you don't use the MCP C# because here
I'm using it for MCP clients because there's a feature here for MCP clients, so MCP connections. So we use that to allow you to connect to MCP servers.
Okay, but for your tools, you could also use the MCP C# SDK because it will provide helpers to extract the tools from methods. So you just have to attribute the methods with the name and the title and description. So you don't have to do it in the registration. Just attribute the types, and then you can just add your class as an MCP tool. You say add MCP tool. in your startup, and that's it. And maybe it will also do more things.
The model context protocol project uses at the end
Probably.
AI function,
Yeah.
AI tools. That's what it does.
Yeah, probably. So that's why you won't have to do as much, because the SDK will do that for you. I
don't know. I would have to look, but in this case, you define a function. You still have defined a function with their SDK, just like this. And then maybe the registration is different, but here it's the same thing. Here you just register it, and the reason why you register it, because we use it for the UI to provide you information. Like if you go, I have to still see what exactly you're talking about, but you go in here, but you see here like the title, the description. That's a UI.
I'm sure you will see that too. Yeah, it's just about the registration and the definition of MCP tools. Look at the SDK, and it might feel easier to define the tools using the SDK than the way you did, like the SDK is doing. So you are rewriting what the SDK is doing. That's what I'm saying. So maybe try.
Yeah, I can definitely for sure look at it again.
Then the next thing you could do, if not done yet, is have a new feature that's called MCP server that will instantiate an MCP server with authentication, such that you can use a client like Copilot CLI, like Cloud Code, like GitHub CLI, GitHub Copilot CLI, anything to connect to Orchard, so you can drive Orchard from outside of Orchard. So whatever you need in the chat.
It's right here.
So you have it? Okay, good. Why didn't you demo that? Oh, it's a PR. Oh.
It's ready. I'm testing it. But yeah, it's there. There's the implementation, and it's using that module context protocol SDK.
SDK, yeah. You see, you have it at the client side, you have it at the server side, but you're not using it the middle side, which is the tool definition. Maybe that's you should look into that. Do you support authentication for your server?
OpenID. I mean, you could use the OpenID authentication.
So that will work. You might want to allow also API key, so it's easier to configure in your client. I don't know.
But do we have API keys in Orchard?
Well, your server can generate an API key, or we can define it in the app settings as an option, right?
Yeah.
Or in the admin, such that it's easy from the client to set it up, and you don't have to set up OpenID to communicate to your thing.
That's true, but
the SDK supports.
I don't know if API keys are as secure as.
Yes, they are, because the ID is at least local development. So it's as secure as how the API key is private, as long as you communicate on HTTPS. But OpenID, same thing, as long as you communicate on HTTPS.
Yeah.
So it's just in terms of setup, this way people can do that locally without. So if you had options, an option could be no authentication, which is totally unsecure, but super useful if you set up locally your site and you want to start generating content using AI. Or the second level is API key, because you can set a secret key or generate it in the admin and copy paste it in your .copilot file or whatever file. And then the third level is OpenID, which also is interesting, because maybe then you can have user context and allow some tools per users, or have context for the user, or I don't know. That's different. Or also use it remotely, because then you can connect to a running instance securely, because it will be authenticated using OAuth. And then you can also use something like ChatGPT on the web to talk to your website, because ChatGPT or Cloud Code or Cloud Online, they support OAuth authentication. So that might be interesting as a scenario to show that.
Yeah, I can definitely add
That's
it.
great.
I would would have to have an AI or a UI for managing the API keys.
Yeah, well, yeah, or just, well, the UI is as simple as a text box, like generate a random key, or even simpler, just put that in the options, app settings. Create a field app settings, and then let whatever the user type there as a key.
Yeah, we can do that. But then, if you really want to use that in production, you might not want to share the same key with.
Exactly. But then another problem. So that's why I'm saying it should have the option to say no authentication, but don't do that in production. API keys, be careful in production, and OpenID, do whatever you want. But the three options might be super interesting because the three of them are supported by the MCP server. So you just have to plug these options to the SDK. There is no logic to add. It supports it.
Yep. Yeah, no, for sure.
That just opens more demos. Like the demo you did is within Orchard. Now you can show using Copilot, so you can automate stuff. Now you can do a GitHub workflow using Copilot CLI that will connect to your Orchard instance and write content or review stuff. Or you can use Copilot chat to talk to your local dev instance to create content if you don't want to do it from the chat. Or then you can say iterate over each tenant and for each tenant do something because you don't want to connect to each tenant's chat. That's why you have the MCP server. So in ChatGPT, I would be a great demo. Like you have a site online deployed, foo.com, and with ChatGPT, you show how you can authenticate to this site and then start using ChatGPT to manage your content, create, review, whatever, create a site, templates, and see it live. That opens up to lots of demos.
For sure.
Awesome. That's great.